Well, my friends, it's Gerry Adams here, and I want to thank American Insight and the Free Speech Film Festival for selecting Tricia Ziff's film, A Ballymurphy Man, for the 2025 Free Speech Award. And this festival is dedicated to encouraging filmmakers to stand up for free speech and human rights, and that's hugely important, especially at this time. So I'm very, very grateful that you're honouring Tricia's work. Successive British governments, formally and informally, imposed serious censorship on the reporting of events in Ireland. For years, my voice was banned from the British media. They had to use an actor's voice, and it sounds foolish now, and some of the voices that they used sounded very funny, but the broadcast restrictions had a significant and detrimental effect. Media coverage was significantly reduced. The British narrative dominated. People were denied their right to information. Dialogue was discouraged, not encouraged. And only the British versions of history of events and developments was tolerated. Britain's counterinsurgency strategy, which continues to influence many other states today, including Israel, dictates that the institutions of the state, its government structures, the judiciary, the law, the police and the media must all be moulded to advance the political goals of the government. Understanding this is very important, especially at this time as a genocide rages against the Palestinian people in Gaza, a place where hundreds of journalists have been deliberately targeted and killed by the Israeli regime, and a place from which the international media is barred. International law, much of it framed after World War II as a legal human rights protection for citizens, that's been torn up. There are also many other examples of states where free speech is under threat. And I note the quote from Frederick Douglass on your website. In Belfast City Centre, there's a statue to Frederick Douglass. In the 1840s, as an escaped slave, he travelled widely in Ireland where he lectured on his experiences. In the course of his time here, he witnessed the awful conditions endured by the Irish and the impact of An Gorta Mór, the Great Hunger. Consequently, Douglass increasingly saw the issue of slavery not in isolation, but as part of a wider campaign for equality and social justice globally. He wrote, "I see much here, that is in Ireland, to remind me of my former condition, and I confess I should be ashamed to lift up my voice against American slavery, but that I know the cause of humanity is one the world over. He who really and truly feels for the American slave cannot steel his heart to the woes of others." Douglass's close association with Belfast is a matter of great public pride. It's part of our history. He also said to suppress free speech is a double wrong. It violates the rights of the hearer as well as those of the speakers. If Tricia Ziff's film teaches anything, it is that conflict is not inevitable, nor is it intractable. Conflict can be ended, but that requires setting aside preconceived notions of who is good and who is bad, while grasping the imperative of dialogue. Dialogue, dialogue, and dialogue. Dialogue is essential if conflicts are to be ended. Upholding people's rights is essential. Upholding international law is essential. Refusing to talk, refusing to speak up for and to defend democratic values and human rights only perpetuates conflict. Of course, dialogue's not easy. You have to listen as well. Everyone has a story to tell, and they must be able to tell that story. A Ballymurphy Man is part of this process. I want to thank Tricia Ziff for making this film. I took courage to do so. So thank you, America Insight and the Free Speech Festival, for honouring the work of Tricia Ziff. Gerry and ta libse. Mila buíochas.